Hey everyone, welcome back with Late Nights with the Lord, and I'm Alex. If you're new here, this is the podcast/channel where we talk about Jesus and all of the above, to our love for Him, to our expressions and our walks and questions and messages and everything of that nature. And so, before I kind of debrief and talk about a little update, I just want to say I'm glad that you're watching this video. I'm glad that you're across the screen, and I'm glad that you clicked on this video. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright guys, so it's been a little minute. And I know that, and my friends are like, so when's the next episode coming out, and things of that nature. And so I know I did this last time, but I think this time it's been a little bit different. This past summer has been amazing, and I wanted to preface before the video started by saying, like, this is gonna be an update video. I know you guys want messages and things like that, and I think they'll come in due time. But I think this video is important because I think I've learned a lot this past summer, and so I'll key in on a few points, but overall I think this is gonna be it's gonna be a update video. But just because we don't have a message scripted doesn't mean that there won't be a message said. So over this past summer, I was able to do so many things, and coming into the summer I was excited, but I didn't know to what extent. There was so many, I wouldn't say questioned areas, but like curiosity within the faith for me. And these past couple months have completely changed my life. So to be completely transparent, I've been somebody who has been accustomed to being lazy and to procrastinating and to being undisciplined. And in the faith, I didn't understand how much that affected me until I did. And it kind of, I wouldn't say it was this thing that was killing me or anything, but I understood that there was a lack of growth, and I figured out where it came from. For the longest time, I didn't think it affected me because it wasn't apparent. Like, it didn't pop out, And in the beginning of the year, I was just like, Lord, like, use me, Like, I want to grow exponentially in my faith. And so how does that happen? And so the following months, that was happening, but there was still an area where I was just like curious to how it would move. As many of you might know, like I was over the summer, I was posting on my Instagram a lot, whether it's like messages or certain pictures I would edit, and then I would post some words on there, or a worship song or anything of that nature, or words of wisdom, and I really enjoyed it. Either it be the reels or things of that nature, and so it was super fun for me. With those posts, I think it definitely ministered to me a bit. And so if it did to you guys, I'll try to continue it. You'll see why in a moment, but yeah, it was helping me out so much, just because I would have these words of knowledge, and I'm just like, wow, like, dang, that's a good one, right? And so I try and like emulate other certain Instagram pages that I really, really have a lot of inspiration from. But obviously I try to have the Alex twist on it, or the Holy Spirit twist on it. And so things of that nature I try and kind of use. But yeah, and so with my growth and my discipline, I would say having discipline entered into your life and being consistent and having a commitment to those kinds of things, it changes you more than you understand. Like there's so many times where I was just like, do it later, or, you know, it could be done at a different time, or does it have to be done, you know? And now my perspective has changed so much. I'm not sure what shifted. I'm not sure what day it was or how I wanted to do it, but I think I began to realize, like, hey, like, if I'm not taking care of what God's giving me, how much time is going to pass for it not to be a blessing anymore? Like, God has blessed me with so much, and I have been under the grace of God, and I have been so grateful for it. But being grateful and not taking care of it, I start to question if you're grateful or not. And it's not that you're not grateful, but I mean, for me, I started reflecting. I was like, if I don't take care of what God's giving me, am I showing that I'm grateful with my actions or just my mouth? And so it really started to hit me like, hey, like, Alex, you know, you say you're grateful, and in your heart, that's real, you know? You know you're grateful. But if you don't take care of what God's giving you, how can you show him that? And it's not this idea of making it known or, you know, anything of that nature, but like it's the simplicity and the understanding that, like, you know, it's a typical kind of law of life, you know. If you don't take care of a grass and water it, if you don't tend to the garden and make sure it has the nutrition it needs, the sunlight, the water, it's not going to be beautiful anymore. And that's kind of how I looked at a lot of areas in my life. Whether it's the simplicity of my household, of myself, of my faith, that's where a lot of things root from. You know, your discipline. And I started to understand, like, hey, if there's not a lot of discipline, there's not a lot of growth. And my biggest desire was to grow in the Lord. And this summer, he helped me realize that discipline is an essential part of this life that we walk in. Whether you're a believer or you're not. You know, if you have no discipline in going to the gym, then your desire to grow in fitness isn't, you know, it's, sure, you can say, oh, that person's all talk, but like, I'd question if your desire is real in general. It's not even about the talking, but it's about that desire being real at all. And so I just wanted to share that portion of my summer with you guys. There's a whole list I have right here, and so hopefully that can be in your guys' heart. I know it helped me, and you know, I looked at procrastination and laziness and unproductiveness, things of that nature, as secondary. And sure, they can be that way, but I think there's a lot of area that those things touch, and it makes it more than just a secondary part of your life. Like, sure, you can be working, and sure, you can be a part of a whole bunch of different things, but if you're unproductive and unfruitful to the projects that you really want to touch in your life, whether it's your faith, whether it's certain things you just want to do for you, I think you'll always look in the what if. You'll always look at those times where you're like, dang, like, I could have spent the last couple months doing this and I didn't. And again, it's not just for faith purposes. It's for a lot of other different things too. And I just hope that can resonate with you guys. And so, yeah. Secondly, what I wanted to talk about was being discipled. A lot of my growth this past summer has been because of the Lord, obviously. But I said yes to Jesus again. And, you know, the more that I say yes, the more that I figure out, like, hey, I don't think I could go wrong with saying yes to Jesus. And I know that's like an obvious thing, but it's about living those yeses out, like understanding what you experienced, how you experienced, and how you rooted from all those kinds of things, right? Whether it's just like a yes of a curiosity, or if it's a yes of I'm ready, or if it's a yes of uncertainty, right? Any form of yes that you give to the Lord, He'll honor that. And coming into this summer, at the end of the last school year, by the way, the school year started and it's the first month and a half ish. It's been really, really rough, but we're getting through it, hopefully. Lord, please. But the end of last school year, it had ended and we were good and everything. And so I get approached by my friends that went to, or that they don't go to Cal State Fullerton, but they go to Fullerton, if that makes sense. They do tabling or the whiteboard, and they evangelize that way, and they ask questions to the students to open up their minds and see what their minds have and what their hearts want, things of that nature. So a question, for example, would be like, what's the most important thing to learn on this campus? And obviously that's an easy window for Jesus. And so they had messaged me and they're like, hey friend, like, yada yada yada, boom boom boom, I was wondering if you're open to being discipled this upcoming summer. We'll meet these days, we'll talk about this, pray on it. You don't have to give me an answer right now, but just let me know within the upcoming days, because we're going to be starting it soon with some other friends. And I'm just like, you know what? That sounds really cool. And I was very, very hesitant just because of my schedule. There was uncertainty, but the Lord made a way. And yeah. And so throughout this time so how it was structured, we would read, and then we would debrief on stuff that we would read last week, or an introduction to what we're reading. And we would really meditate. We would pray on what we would read, things of that nature. And it was so much. It was so like life giving and spirit filling, and it was. Oh, I love that time. Like it was so amazing to be discipled by the people that I knew, but also how they did it, because it was such a growing moment in just understanding scripture. There was this area of like, dang, like I just want to understand scripture more, right? And sometimes we don't know how that happens. Sometimes it's random revelation that the Lord gives us, or we find the historical or the cultural context of certain things, and we're just like, so that's how things worked, right? And so we figure out it in different ways, and I'm just like, wow. And so I got a different perspective for a lot of different verses, and I'm just like, dang, I didn't think about it that way, right? And I loved it. Throughout this summer, there was so much reflecting that I had to do on my life, and I think that's what helped me grow. Like, I don't think we reflect enough on the things that we do, whether it's our habits or our mannerisms and things of that nature. It's just like, why do we do the things that we do at the times that we do them? And is there more to that? And I'd say yes, automatically. But there was so much that I had to reflect on, and that's what kind of helped me grow in that discipline aspect that I was talking about earlier. Like, I would wake up at 6, stay up, be super productive, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I got so many things done, and it's barely 10 o'clock. And I was able to see the fruit that it produced, and I'm just like, that's in a way like addicting. Like, you just love to see yourself grow in certain aspects, and you're just like for me, I was just like, Alex, like, this has been such a good day, and it's barely 3 p.m. Like, you have done so much, and look what just waking up early, or the simple things, look what all that has been able to give you. And so I was just like, Lord, thank you for all of this. Like, seeing this new perspective, right? Like, you don't know what you know until you know it, right? Or you don't know what you've been missing out on until you find out what you've been missing out on, right? And it's just like, wow. And it gives me so much joy because, like, as you grow in this walk, you understand even more things. And it's just like, what is God going to do next, right? But yeah, that's that portion. Continuing. I think a huge part of this summer was being content in the Lord. A lot of my life I have been in not envy or covetousness, maybe covetousness a little bit, but it's just sometimes I was always on to the next thing, whether it be just like, oh Lord, I want this, or change my perspective, or no, sorry, change my circumstance, or I just pray for this whatever thing, right? Not it being materialistic, but certain area of my life, right? And it's just like, yes, those things are amazing, and requesting things from the Lord, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But as I was reflecting over the summer, I was just like, my friend Daniel, he had asked me like, hey Alex, what do you want to do for your birthday, or what do you want for your birthday? And I'm just like, you know what, like, honestly, to be 100% with you, I don't know. I feel so filled with what I have. It's just like, I don't want anything. And as I read Psalms 23, I'm just like, that's so real. And how it starts off is like, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And it's understanding, like, if God's everything I need, then I don't really want anything. Like, And so being content in Jesus, I think, helped me understand like things like relationships, or things like certain areas in life and how you grow and things like that. They're not everything. They're not this high, thing that you should be like hyper fixating on, or they shouldn't be involved in your every prayer. If they happen, they happen. That's a part of God's plan, If God wills, makes it happen, then hey. But if they don't, it's not the end of the world, and it shouldn't be. But yeah. I also think another part of it is like just understanding, like, God will provide. Don't worry, friend. Like Matthew 6. I'm not saying the number that proceeds from that, all right? Or Matthew 5. I forget which one. Maybe the end of Matthew 5. But it talks about don't worry, the Lord provides. That if He cares for all of creation, the birds, the grass, that He'll provide for you. And so being content in Jesus is understanding that He'll have it all figured out, whether or not we worry or not. If we worry, He'll probably still, but worry doesn't add on to your life. Honestly, if anything, gives you more gray hairs. So yeah. But being content in the Lord fixes your perspective, because you no longer live in want. You no longer live for not just the things of this world, but your motivations change, your desires change, and they're a lot more eternal. When you don't live in content, you live with the idea that there's a lot in today, and we don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but the Lord's gonna provide. And I know that's a very hard thing to do or act on, or it's easier said than done, but it's meditating on it helps so much. You start to have a breath of fresh air, understanding that God's in control, right? But yeah, I think being content in Jesus and figuring out what that means, it does so much for your spirit. 2 more points, and I just wanted to also just say, like, thank you for everyone who watches. I know you don't gotta watch or anything like that, and and you guys have busy schedules or whatever, and whenever you guys manage to watch this video, I just want to say I am grateful a lot. So thank you. Because like I'm not nobody. But I like talking about the Lord and sharing what has been happening in my life, and if he ends up become something, then it does. But I mean, I enjoy making these videos, and that's what it's just about, you know. And so my fourth point, reading books. Obviously, I read the Bible. These past 3 months, I reread the Gospels, and they're a lot more fresh in my mind. So I'm just like, oh yeah, this is what Jesus was talking about. It hits, you know. No, but and after I just finished John, right? And so like I'm on First Corinthians, and I've been wanting to read it for so long, and I'm just like, oh Lord, let's go. It's so heat. And I'm like, I think I'm on chapter 5 or something, but it's really good. But no, this is pertaining, if that's the right word. This is the definition. Ready? 1, 2. No, this is regarding like non-Bible books or like Christian books. And so like there'll be like a book that I know of that I haven't read right now is I think Godly Ambition. It's by Ruslan KD, who I really enjoy his content on YouTube. He's super cool, really insightful, and I heard that's like a Christian Atomic Habits in the sort. And so, you know, things like that gives you a different perspective, but also biblical background, and it's rooted in the Bible. I think those are also very, very insightful and help you understand a little bit deeper, because the Bible talks about a lot of things, and sometimes it's vague, sometimes it's pretty straightforward. But sometimes, or not even sometimes, there's a lot of areas that like the Bible doesn't address, like things like dating, or you know, just other areas, right? And so these other books are sometimes to help you grow, gain different perspectives, but also to minister to you, you know. And there's 2 books that, oh my gosh, I read over the summer, and I was reading them at the same time, so it took me a little bit to finish both of them, because I would read one for like 20 pages at one time, and then wait a little bit, and then read the other book for like 17 or so pages another time, right? Or just chapter by chapter. And I'm just like, dang, it's gonna take a little bit. But I think they were both like 200 pages or something like that. I finished like 400 pages. Took me a little bit of time. All right, it wasn't every day. It was like chapter by chapter, and however I finished it. But it was, bro, these books were good, bro, and I think I have them right here. So I'll be back. Okay, so I have them. One is called Spiritual Leadership by J. Oswald Sanders. If you guys don't know what it looks like, ready? 1, 2. So if you can see, boom, boom, boom. This is what it looks like. Bro, I wish I got paid for this, but nope. And then this is the other one. So this is obviously no. But these just are books that help me grow. Boom, John Eldridge, Fathered by God. So this is a little bit more of like the masculine perspective. So if you're a guy, want to grow in the faith, and you're watching this, read this. This is so good. This is, bro, I might even reread this book soon. It's that good. And then this one, Spiritual Leadership. It's really for anyone. For maybe going into leadership, desiring to be a leader, or you're in it and you just want to learn things like that. Dude, I'm gonna just pause right now just to like take in like what I'm gonna say, how I'm gonna say it, because dude, both of these books are so good. So for Fathered by God, this book, this guy John Eldridge, he writes it from a perspective of like he had his dad young, but he lost his dad but didn't lose his dad, and he struggled with that just because his dad was a part of his childhood, and then he was no longer part of his childhood. and he really questioned his value and things of that nature. And this book talks about the stages of manlyhood, and how you can be initiated as a man biblically. A lot of the time we understand a very inconsistent definition of what it means to a man, especially in this world. But manlyhood isn't being strong, isn't not showing emotion. That's not what manlyhood or being masculine is. It's being more like Jesus and embracing all the aspects of a man that he showed here on earth. And so there's stages such as being the king phase, the sage phase, which is a lot older, the warrior phase, but there's also the cowboy phase and the boyhood and the lover, and things of that nature. And so there's so much to it that I enjoyed. I would say it's a staple in every young man or any man's faith journey. And so I would just like to encourage, for any man watching this video, if you haven't read this book, it's like maybe less than $10 on Amazon, but it's been so important to my walk, and it really helped me understand a lot of different things this past summer. And I've loved it, and it has a really, really special place in my heart. And then with the second book, Spiritual Leadership, dude, this book, like, I thought I knew some things about leadership and spiritual leadership, right? But dude, when I started to read this book, I understood that I understood nothing. Like, dude, this book is so good. Like, and there's the fun thing about this book too, is like there's questions after every chapter, and it helps you like bring things to the surface that you had no idea were underneath. And I'm just like, this is tough, right? And the chapters are super short too. There's like 20 chapters. It's like $200, so probably like around like 10 pages a chapter. But dude, oh my gosh. And I started reading this a little bit earlier in the year, but I wanted to be more consistent with reading it just because I heard a lot of good things, and bro, they were true. These two books, if you're anyone, especially this one, because this one's like, it's like there's no gender towards it or anything. You could be a man, woman, understand what spiritual leadership like means. But dude, like I probably have to reread both, and a part of this book shows you how to read a book, really, if that makes sense. But it's like, it's understanding and consuming parts of the first time you read it. Second time is really to analyze and take your time with every single chapter and be intentional in trying to understand every single chapter. And then the third time is rereading it in the same way you read it the first time, consuming it. And so that was just tips it gave me. It was also like, don't go past the word that you don't understand, because to understand the full graspness of what it's trying to entail, you have to know what it's saying. I don't know if this makes sense with any of you guys, but yeah. But dude, like these two books like are so special to me, and I just wanted to share those with you guys because they helped me really like open up my mind to what wasn't revealed yet to me. And then this last portion, which is gonna end off this episode, is my season right now. So the Lord showed me so many things, and I was on purpose. So throughout last summer, I didn't have too many responsibilities, and I was really, I guess, blessed in some sort of area because He was really pouring into me. But I think this time around in this season, I think He wants me to pour into others, because the gospel is really about what we're given to give to others. It's about to receive, to give. The whole aspect, or a large chunk of the gospel is to serve. And to first serve, you have to be poured into. Oh my gosh, that was loud. Did you guys see that? And it's not in the idea of like, oh, me, you know, I want to receive first. No, but it's to understand, like, because you have been given what you've been given, you need to give to others in that same way. If the Lord's been graceful to you, you have to be graceful to others. And that's what it's about. That's what reflecting Jesus is all about. This season has been really hectic. Like, dude, like, oh my gosh. I don't think it's trials, no. But it's bro, the Lord's putting me to a test, right? And you know, so far I've been doing solid. I think but last season was just, it was really focused on growing and being poured into and understanding and receiving and consuming. And the Lord was preparing me for this season. As I started the semester, I'm starting my third year. So it's my end 2 years. So my first 2 years, that was a huge journey. And so I'm into my last 2 years, and this year has started off so busy. Like, dude, like I'll start my days like at 6 a.m. and not get home till like 9-10 p.m. And so my, like, being in my room is only for sleeping. And so that's been like such a shift for me. And that's been so new, and it's been really hard to adjust. So like, I don't ask for a lot from you guys, but like, hey, if you can, please pray for your boy, because this has been, there's a lot on my shoulders. But I'm putting those shoulders, putting what's on my shoulders, and I'm surrendering it. So I'm trying my best to do that. But you know, he really prepared me for what this season has been showing me. I would say I've learned a lot so far, and managing / organizing / adjusting to my schedule has been it's just been a lot. And I've been really good in the faith, and I'm really good spiritually, but physically, like, it's a toll, you know, whether it be sleep or, because like I help with the baseball team, and you know, I'm in the sun a lot of my day. And so that is like a very taxing on your body, you know, it drains you, your energy, everything. And so, you know, there's a lot to it. And there's been so much surrendering, so much trusting in the Lord, and not being worried, and it's so easy to be worried. It's so easy to be worried. But this season has showed me a lot. It showed me to not to pull from my own strength, you know. The strength of the joy of the Lord is your strength. And it's not just something that's said, but it's really like, hey, like, life is serious enough, you know, have joy in Jesus, you know. I think that's what it shows me. It also is showing me, like, hey, if I pull from the strength that Alex has only, I'm gonna die out so quick. I'm gonna be drained so much. And you know, pulling from the Lord, you know, being consistent in my word, like, those things really affect me now. If I'm not in my word, I'm really disappointed in how the day starts. And so I've adjusted my schedule to wake up and I open up my word. And there's not a lot of things I'm proud of, but those things, like, it has a warm spot in my heart, just because, like, I have a desire to have the Lord touch in every aspect of my life right now, whether it's school, whether it's my mornings, whether it's my friends, whether it's what I'm doing at school. And it's just like, I don't want to love to boast, but like, I'm really, it touches a good part of my heart, because, like, hey, like, I really wanted to do this and I did it, and that just makes me really happy. That's how I feel about that, you know. And so, yeah, that's how the summer's been for me. It's been so Ooh, I'm about to get emotional. Let me break real quick. This summer has been really, really, really impactful for me, and I think it's been the greatest summer of my life so far. It's been the greatest year of my life, and it's funny saying that, and I think I've mentioned this before. How can the greatest year of your life start with you experiencing grief within the first let me rephrase. I guess it's just hard to conceive, like, hey, the greatest year of your life started with grief. And I'm just like, whoa, like, it's tricky how that works, The Lord, He got a plan, He's a genius, but you just don't understand it in the moment. But yeah, it's shown me so much, and I'm really, really, really grateful and glad that I'm able to spend that. Okay, we're back. No, but I'm just really, really grateful that this summer has been what it was, and it's really prepared me for what's going on right now, because if I didn't say yes to Jesus, if I didn't read these books, if I didn't change my discipline habits, change my habits at all, I don't think I'd be able to manage what's going on. I maybe don't even have the opportunities that God's given me. And it's all because I said yes to the Lord. And if you're, and I'll just end with this, like if you're having really hard time saying yes to the Lord, or surrendering it, or anything like that, I'll just say, pray on it a lot. Praying on it has so much more effect than you understand. Whether it's your spirit, whether it's your physical, pray on it. But also really, really contemplate what yes is going to do. Not in a pros and cons kind of idea, but what is this going to pull out of me, and do I want to do it? And maybe we don't want to do it at times either, but just being curious in Jesus is going to do so much for your life. And so I just want to say thank you guys for listening to this guy yap. But also, spending the time, because I know that this video wasn't short of any idea, but yeah, I'm super grateful right now, and the Lord's doing something, even if I can't see it, but I'm noticing a couple things. But yeah, guys, I want to thank you for everyone who watches these videos. I know I said it earlier, but you don't have to watch them. You don't have to turn on the video, or click on the Instagram link, on my Instagram story, or anything like that. And so, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry after this, because I'm not gonna cry in front of you guys. I'm only crying for the Lord. But yeah, I don't know what happened right now. I'm really, really grateful for everything. I didn't feel like this 40 minutes ago. But yeah, I think the Lord is doing something right now, and I just want to be able to understand it, but to be present in it. Yeah, be present in this season, friend. Because it's so hard to look to the next thing, or be so busy, or having things back to back, that you don't end up realizing like life is all about the right now. Tomorrow's gonna happen if tomorrow happens, and yesterday already went. But right now is the only thing that you have. So live for the Lord right now. Tomorrow's not promised, and worrying about a certain thing, if it's gonna happen, doesn't do anything to your life. Yes, there's a healthy concern, to everything. But worrying does something to us that I think only the devil is proud about. And so don't give him that. But yeah, guys, this has been such an amazing little debrief of this summer, and hopefully I can get to you guys a little bit more. It has been really, 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 really difficult to make time for a lot of things, homework, studying, things like that. And I'm gonna try to figure it out, or I'm gonna just trust the Lord in it. But thank you guys for watching this episode, and hopefully I can get to you guys to a lot more. I know I want to start that faith and film series on my channel, and even these a little bit more, and hopefully some vlogs. We'll see how that goes. Oh shoot, no, there's definitely gonna be another. It's gonna be later though. It's gonna be in a little bit. It's probably gonna be like in 6 months or something. But I'm going to the Josiah Queen concert. I'm definitely gonna vlog that for sure. Oh dang. Okay, sorry, this is going a little longer than I wanted to, but I also went to the Brandon Lake concert. Dude, that was awesome. Oh my gosh, that was the greatest birthday of my life. I saw Josiah Queen. He's like my favorite artist. I was like, Garden in Manhattan. Okay, I won't sing because I'm a horrible singer, but also like copyright reasons. Not that it matters, because like I don't get paid for these videos. But yeah, I love this summer. Thor, thank you. Yeah, and if I can just lead you guys in prayer to end today or tonight or whatever it is. But yeah, and so dear Heavenly Father, I thank you so much for the person across the screen, Lord. Thank you for their openness to hearing what I had to share this past summer and right now, Lord. And I just pray over them, Lord. I pray for any area in their life where they just want to let you in on and be set free from, Lord. Whether it's struggles and in mental health concerns or a diagnosis that isn't good news. Lord, we know that you are good news, Lord. And so, Lord, may we just spend more time with you, Lord. Give us revelation to the things that we may handle in this life, Lord. And may you just show us that we don't have to worry, that we shouldn't worry, and that your word commands us not to, Lord. Lord, may you remind us that your love is more than we understand, but it's enough. It's more than enough. And Lord, may we pour out that same love right back to you, Lord. We thank you so much and are grateful for the lives that we have and how you've blessed us in this life, Lord. And may we just be able to trust you right now in this season, Lord. May you... Sorry. How bad? May you just be able to show us who you are right now, Lord. May your glory be on full display, Jesus. I thank you so much for the person across the stream, and may you just use them as an instrument for your kingdom, God. I pray that you move in their hearts and their hearts made towards you, Lord. May you grow them, Lord. May you show them the revelation that you've shown me, God. And may you help them with anything in their lives, Lord, and meet them where they're at, Lord. You have heard their cries and heard their prayers, Lord, and they haven't gone unanswered. Sometimes we just need to be patient. Sometimes it's a no. But sometimes it's a yes as well, Lord. And so may we just have the heart to say yes to you, Jesus. To surrender it. To open up what you have for us in our lives, God. And what you always have for us will always be for the good. And will always be beautiful, Lord. And may we be reminded of those things, Jesus. So I pray for the person across this screen, Lord. And I pray for their growth. I pray for their faith. And may not fear overcome them, Lord. In Jesus' mighty, miraculous, majestic, matchless, and undefeated name, I pray. Amen. Thank you, guys. I've said that a couple times already, but this is officially. This is Late Nights with the Lord, and Alex here with such a meaningful video for me, and I thank you guys for watching so much. And with that, I'll see you guys when I see you guys, and hopefully that's soon. But yeah, thank you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.